Hi YouTube, how are we doing? Sorry it's been so long. I wanted to jump on and update you guys with a few things that have happened since my last video 3 months ago, which was the registry and TTC story. A lot has gone on, and one of the reasons why I haven't done a video since then, I'm gonna put my feet up because they're hella swollen, so one of the reasons I haven't done a video since then, obviously the whole COVID thing has been going on, and I didn't feel personally like my problems or my situations were relevant at the time, you know, with everything happening, and I just didn't feel like it was a time to complain about swollen feet or that my nursery was something worth talking about. So take it as you will. But let me kind of update you on what's happened since that video in March. So obviously with COVID, part of my job was to plan events for a large corporation and to also keep everybody happy. Recognition, things that make them glad to work for the company that they work for. So acknowledging their hard work, kind of trying to spoil them when you can, surprising them with treats and things like that. So when COVID happened, my job kind of went into more of an overdrive where you know, you're trying to not only make sure that they know that you appreciate them on the front lines, nurses and doctors and staff, and so showing your appreciation, but also, you know, trying to take their mind off of the situation at hand. So kind of ramped up all of that for a few weeks, and then unfortunately at the end of April, I was let go due to COVID budgeting issues, and there were a lot of people that were let go, and it was very, very hard for me personally because both of my parents had worked for this company my whole life, and I felt like when I finally got there that I could just settle, and that would be the last interview I ever needed to do, and this could really be a company that I could you know, grow into for the long haul. And it was hard to be let go and not have any, you know, promise of coming back. You know, a lot of people, like my sister, got furloughed, so, and you know, I'm getting ready to go on maternity leave, so that was hard too. It was like, well, why don't I just come back in September? But you know, budget is what budget is, and there were a lot of much better people, in my opinion, that got let go. People that had been with the company for a long time, and I'd only been there for 6 months. So I knew that because of the nature of my job, the fun stuff would be the first to go, and that hopefully they would get rid of some rookies first before some of their key players. So I knew and bowed out gracefully. I felt like we ended on good terms, and maybe I look there in the future. But for now, I'm just at home, and this has been such a blessing in disguise because I've been able to help out around the house a little bit more while my husband finishes his PhD. His defense date is July 8th, so he's been around the clock working on that to get it ready, and we finished the nursery and things like that. So it's been, while it was a terrible situation, it couldn't have happened at a better time. And to be honest with you, excuse me, I have been needing to put my feet up a lot more the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I can't imagine having to do my job and do this. I commend all the women that work right up until their delivery. I'm glad on the first baby that I had this happen so that I know what to expect for the next one, and maybe I can prepare better somehow. I don't know, but blessing in disguise. So it all worked out, and we're going to start looking for things for me for the fall. I'd really love to find something that I could potentially do from home. Even when I was working before, almost my entire paycheck would probably go to daycare. So if I could 2 birds, 1 stone, work from home and keep him, I know it would be a challenge, but I'd really like to look for something like that. A lot of my family and friends really want me to go into party planning, which would be fun. So maybe we'll think about that. It's a relatively small town that we live in, so I just worry about the sustainability of it, but it certainly would be fun. So that's where I'm at as far as my career. So since that happened, and that was at the end of April, beginning of May, that I was let go. The end of May, we had our baby shower. It was not as many people as we had thought or, had hoped for. But again, with COVID, probably better anyways. And we had always planned it to be an outdoor shower. So it worked out really, really nice. We had the ladies in the driveway and we had the guys on the front porch having beers and hand sanitizers on every table. We had food trucks that came and just parked right here along the street. So there was no food prep or beverages or anything that needed to be done, so I could really enjoy the party with my family, especially my mom, who usually ends up taking the reins on all of the food and beverage, and she ends up just staying in the kitchen. So it was nice to be able to actually have a party where she could attend. So that was so wonderful, and all the people that came and the amount of gifts that we got. And then after the party, my sister and my nieces and my mom and I came up to the room, the nursery here, and opened everything and read all of the sweet little notes that were in the books that were given. We did books instead of cards, new or used, and everybody wrote such sweet messages in them. And we also did a display shower, so I just hate throwing away wrapping paper at the end of Christmas. It just drives me crazy. So I thought it was really, really fun and really nice to just have maybe a bow on a gift with a little note that says who it's from. The majority of it was on my registry anyway, so it's kind of counterintuitive to wrap it and pretend like it's going to be a surprise. So that was really nice. I went and got myself a vanilla milkshake. Whenever I leave the house, I get a sweet treat because I don't get to leave the house very often anymore, but I've got my water. So I had the baby shower. That was May, end of May. And then June, we started having some issues with baby. Not issues, but just, some red flags. So what had happened was I was going in for my regular doctor's appointments. My blood pressure was showing up a little bit too high. I've been having some pretty intense swelling in my feet, in my face, at least in my opinion. I don't even know myself in the mirror anymore, so it's been kind of hard dealing with the swelling, and I've had such bad swelling in my hands that I can't feel them anymore. They call that a pregnancy carpal tunnel. So the swelling is just putting pressure on the nerves in your wrist, and it's worse when you wake up in the morning because you cuddle up or whatever. You don't have your wrist completely straight. So when I wake up in the morning, I can't even pick up my drink. So it's been really, really hard. That's probably been the most frustrating thing about my pregnancy. It's not painful. It's just annoying, not being able to open a jar or be able to grip a door handle, or I've been dropping things. It's just been crazy. So anyways, with the swelling and the blood pressure, they ordered a blood screening. So I had a blood draw that day, and they sent me home with a 24-hour urine test. And let me just tell you, first time around, it's kind of fun. I accepted the challenge. I thought it was funny. I was walking out swinging my pee bucket in the air and telling people I was going to rhinestone it. And it was funny. And Alex and I got to laugh about it, and we kept it in the refrigerator. And so what you have to do is they give you, it looks like a hat, like a top hat. It's white plastic, and you have to set that in the toilet every time you pee for 24 hours and then dump it into this big orange container. And it sounds disgusting, and it is. The hardest part was probably at night. We have a 3-story house, so what my husband did was put a cooler in the bathroom with ice so that in the middle of the night I didn't have to come down to the kitchen to the refrigerator in order to get the jug to dump in the pee, because it had to stay cold, whatever. So I would just, I did it in the dark in the bathroom, dumped it into this jug and put it back in the cooler, the 3 or 4 times a night that I have to pee. So it was funny, and it was, a little nerve-wracking, because I knew it was because she was concerned about preeclampsia, and don't Google preeclampsia if you're pregnant. It's scary stuff. It can be pretty traumatic. And while I say don't Google it, like, I think I worried about it too much before I needed to worry about it. But it's good, I guess, to know that things are out there. So test results came back. What they look for in the urine is protein, and I think mine was at like 226 or something, and they don't become concerned about preeclampsia until 300. So that checked out. My blood work checked out, but because of the levels and my blood pressure, the next time that I came into the doctor, they ordered the same things. I had to do the blood test and the urine test, which was a surprise to me. And she came in with the bucket, and Alex and I looked at each other like, oh my gosh, like, not again. Because it was just so nice when it was over just to be able to go to the bathroom and not have to worry about collecting samples and dumping it and recording it and all of these things. So we did that twice. Those levels came back 210, and the blood work came back fine. So, and my blood pressure has been staying pretty normal. So the following week, which was this past Thursday, I think was our appointment, I didn't have to do a urine test, and I didn't have to do blood test. My blood pressure was a little better, and I wish I remembered it. I think it was like 126 over 92 or something like that. That might not be right. But it was better, and she was happy with it. So I still see her every week until the baby's born, and they'll just keep a close eye on my blood pressure. Should my blood pressure go up, what they would want to do is induce me at 37 weeks. And this past Friday, we marked 36 weeks. So we could have a baby next weekend if my blood pressure does not stay in check. The hardest thing about that whole thing was, the first question that someone like myself asks is, what can I go home and do today to make my levels better, or to make my blood pressure better, or what can I do to prevent preeclampsia? And you really can't prevent preeclampsia. With the people that I've talked to, it's something to do with the placenta, and it's more common in your first pregnancy. So I didn't feel as bad. I didn't feel like it was something that I did. I have stayed active throughout the pregnancy, walks, going to the gym. We eat relatively healthy. A lot of the time it's like I'm getting to the point where I'm not hungry anymore, so I'm trying to get in what I can. But it was really hard to have an issue that is out of your control. But we're good for now. Like I said, we're at 36 weeks, so we could potentially be hanging on here till the end. So I would like to make it to 38 weeks, because I feel like that's a really good, like, you don't have to make it to 40. I'd like to make it to 38, and I think that ends up hitting on like July 3rd. So maybe starting July 1st, we start eating Thai food. I don't know. But I would love to make it to 38 weeks. There's a million things for a first-time mom to worry about, and one of those is trying to do what's best for your baby. And I don't want to sound selfish or like I'm trying to induce myself early. for my own comfort level. You know, these studies and stuff that you read online, it's like the last few weeks of you know, the baby being in the womb is supposed to be great for their brain and all of these things. But then on the other side, you read studies and it's like, baby born at 37 weeks, perfectly healthy. Baby, you know, and there's all these premature babies that are just, I mean, they're doing just fine. So it's hard to read one thing, hear another, and try not to just want him out for my own comfort. So we're just going to take it how it is. One of our good friends' birthday is on July 6th. So that might be a good date. But like I said, my husband's defense is July 8th. So I can't imagine how hard it would be to have just brought a baby home and he's the next day got to get in a suit and tie and get on Zoom and defend his PhD that we've been working on for 6 years. So I hope that it does not come to that close of a time frame for him, but maybe they would show him a little mercy if he's like, yeah, I just got home from the hospital, we have a new baby. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm so excited for him, and timing really lined up great for him as well because he's a teacher, so he's home. He's working currently for to get ready for the PhD, but when that's over, then it can just be, you know, me, him, and the baby, you know, bonding and spending time together and sitting on the front porch, and hopefully everything is sunshine and rainbows. So fingers crossed that we can make it to 38 weeks, but otherwise we're ready. The bags are packed, his nursery's ready, all the laundry's done, his laundry that is. So we're ready for him, and that I would like to show you in the next 2 videos. I've been really, really unmotivated to do videos recently, partly just because of how I'm feeling about all this, but I just want to rest and put my feet up and you know, chill and play with the dogs and just not do anything, which I think is pretty normal at the end of your pregnancy. But there are a couple videos that I'd really like to get in before he comes. One being a nursery tour, obviously. There's just one thing that's coming from Etsy that my mom got, and I don't think it's going to be here in time for his big debut, but I'll at least mention it when we do the nursery tour. And then I'd also like to do a what's in my hospital bag, because guys, I'm a doomsday prepper. It is a big bag, everything is ready. Snacks, drinks, luggages, all the things. So I think it'll be really funny to do that video. And then after the fact, you know, talk about all the things that I used or didn't use, because I'm probably way overshooting, but maybe not. It's in a roller bag, so I think as heavy as it is, it doesn't matter because you're rolling it. Anyways, so those 2 videos will be coming up soon. Just wanted to give you guys that update, so you know what's going on with me if we haven't had a chance to chat, all my family and friends. But yeah, so we'll have those next 2 videos coming up soon. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe so you know when I get new videos uploaded, hopefully soon within the next week, in case baby comes early. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.